these two teams that made this big bombshell trade in the deadline, and we're gonna have Javon start this off. All right, y'all know the two teams we're talking about. We're talking about the Nets and the Sixers. So now look, we know another team could possibly get out the East, like the Bucks, Miami, etc. But we're gonna talk about the Nets and the Sixers. So which team is more likely to represent the East in the finals, the Nets or the Sixers? Who you got, Javon?
I got the Nets. Now you haven't seen the full team play yet, but I'll tell you why I got the Nets. I like I like I like Harden and the B combination so far. I mean they ain't really play nobody yet, and and face no adversity really. But what I've seen so far, they looking like how I thought they would look. To be honest, but I feel like they don't have no depth. Those guys are really gonna have to dominate every single game, all game. You know what I mean? Like Maxi's cool. Don't get me wrong, Maxi's cool. Tobias Harris 50-50. He shows up when he want to show up. Less pressures on him on the perimeter now, so he may play better. But I don't know. I don't trust those guys. Even Embiid and Harden, they're phenomenal. Embiid is the same guy that missed the game against the Raptors because he had a stomach ache. When they could have won that series and he could have been in the finals. Who else? Harden. He hasn't shown up multiple times, so I really have to see them do something. But I feel like the Nets, we haven't seen. I know who Kyrie and KD can do together. We've seen that. We've seen those two together. Even a bad team, good team, whatever. Just them two on the floor together, they're dangerous. Um, the adding Ben Simmons, I really like that. I want to see how he gonna play. I think he gonna come in with just like how Harden came in. He's ready to play. Um, and I also think the Nets team is just the other players. They're more ready. Seth Curry's more ready. Patty Mills, experience. He's more ready. They got Aldridge. He's more ready. Blake Griffin. I mean, he's not the same. He don't have to be nothing, but he's more ready. Um, like they've been playing without their superstars through the season. So they've been like getting some bump. Soon as Seth Curry and Drummond came over, they pretty much had to play without Kyrie and KD. So I think they played one game with Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
So and then once KD and Kyrie come back and Ben Simmons and just take the load off of them, they're going to open up even more. So I think the Nets, when they fully healthy, I think it's going to be crazy. I think they just got too much, to be honest. Ben Simmons running the show, KD out there, Kyrie out there, Patty Mills, Seth out there. They got too much, man. I feel like so. I think they're going to be a good team on both sides. But I think the Nets are more equipped, even though the Sixers have fake Shaq and Kobe thing going on. They have a possibility to make it. But I think the Nets are more equipped. They have more depth, and I think their superstars are better than the Sixers superstars together and more dangerous. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Nets too, and start with the Sixers. First, I think both teams got better. I do. I think Harden is better with them versus Ben, and I think Ben is better with them with the addition of Andre Drummond and Steph Curry. Now with the Sixers, like I mentioned on another show. Now, it was few things that I was looking for. I was looking for, okay, of course, everybody looking at Harden. How was Harden going to be coming out the gate? And he looked happy, but we saw this before. This is Nets all over again. He was happy, lost weight. You feel me? He had a triple double. You know what I mean? Same thing
Yeah.
with the Nets.
I was waiting.
So he just got to keep the intensity up throughout the playoffs. All right. But one good thing about him, he's been I actually seen him play more harder. This is the hardest I ever seen him play in his whole career. Like you look at his the transition, he dude was running full. I never seen him run full speed ever, and he did that against the Knicks. So he looked good. He's making all the right plays. Another thing, Joel Embiid, I wasn't sure how he be more aggressive, less aggressive, deferring to James Harden. He's actually been more aggressive since James Harden been there. Against the Knicks, shot the most free throws he ever shot in his career, made the most free throws he ever made in his career. He's being aggressive. You know what I mean? He's actually being more dominant, stuff like that. The person that I'm kind of worried about is Tobias Harris. He's going from a third option to maybe a fourth option, because Tyrese Maxey is sliding and slide in too. You know what I mean? To that third option. So that's the key with me. Like, Tobias Harris got to show up, and Maxey is looking good next to James Harden. But I don't want to get too, like Javon said, they got to be dominant. Think about this, y'all. The Knicks lost every game in February. All right. Every game. They were 0 whatever in February. They won that one game. That game came down to the wire. You look at the score, they won by double digits, but they went off like in the last 2 minutes. It was a close game, and B had 37, Harden had like 29. Think about that. It was a close game. All right. So that's scary to me. If Harden and Embiid is going off like that, it should be a blowout. It should not be a close game. So when they play an elite team, how would that look? So like Javon said, they had to dominate for them to win. I want to see how they would look when they face some adversity when Harden has an off game or Embiid has an off game in the playoffs, not regular season. I want to see how that look. Now, when it comes to the Nets, I think Ben Simmons, out of any team he could have went to, he went to the perfect team for his skill set, and that's a Brooklyn Nets. He's playing with a bunch of shooters. Yeah, y'all remember when they went on that 17-game winning streak when the B got hurt and they went into the
Yep.
playoffs and played Miami? And B was not man B. Ben was at his best, and guess what he had
Yep.
around him? A bunch of shooters, a
Yep.
bunch of shooters, and that's exactly what we have here. He got Steph Curry, Patty Mills, Kyrie Irving. People don't talk about it. Kyrie Irving is a shooter. He's a better shooter. Everybody want to size Dame up, which is good, but y'all know Kyrie's a better shooter than Dame. He's shooting a better percentage than Dame from the three. But nobody talks about it because he's more of a Kobe-like scorer as a point guard. But he's a great shooter. Don't forget he won a three-point shootout contest too. So
Right.
Kyrie Irving is a shooter. KD is a shooter. Patty Mills is a shooter. We don't know about Joe Harris. He might come back. Shooter. Steph Curry, shooter. He is surrounded by all these shooters. So Ben Simmons is coming to a situation other than going to Portland because they were talking about trading him for Dame. If he went to Portland, he's the guy. He has pressure. With the Nets, he's a third option. He's not the guy. He could actually be him. Facilitate, rebound, play defense. Then they add Andre Drummond, who was averaging 9 rebounds a game, playing 18 minutes. He's gonna be starting playing 4 time minutes. He could be averaging 15 rebounds a game with the Nets, which what they need. Seth Curry shooting his lowest 3-point percentage of his career so far, which is 40%. All right, that's great still, and I believe that's going to improve. So they're hungry. They got they when you get traded, you're like trying to prove wrong. You know what I mean? You're trying to prove wrong, so they're motivated too. Both of them are ringless. Seth Curry, Andre Drummond are ringless. So I'm excited to see the Nets. I think, like Javon said, the Nets, when Ben Simmons implement into the system, he's going to click like that. And they just being smart. They're playing chess. They're not going to play that game on March 10th. They want to show y'all that they cards right now. They're going to wait into the playoffs, and then they're going to show their cards. And I would do the same thing if I was the Nets. I'm not going to play this Philly game in the regular season. I'm going to wait to the playoffs because the intensity going to be high. I'm going to wait to the playoffs and do my thing. So I think the Nets are going to win the East for real. I think they're going to win the whole East and actually win a championship for real if the Warriors don't stop. I think the Warriors would go, but that's it.
Yeah, I got I believe it's gonna be the Nets as well. I'm not
Oh,
going.
sweet.
I picked AD to win MVP this year before the season. It don't look like it's gonna happen only because he got injured. But when KD come back, I don't.
I
It
pick
ain't
KD.
nobody stopping KD. So it ain't nobody stopping KD when he come back. If that once the New York mayor lift that mandate and let Kyrie play full time, it's definitely gonna be a problem. And I mean, Ben Simmons cool. I'm not that big on Ben Simmons to be honest with you. Like he a great defender, he a great facilitator, but I'm not that big on him. He a great basketball as far as like, he got a high IQ and all that. He played basketball the right way, but like I said, I'm still not that big on him. But just with KD and Kyrie, even without Ben Simmons, in my opinion, they would have beat the Sixers with Harden and Embiid, in my opinion. Like them two guys ain't going. Them two guys, I don't think they're gonna play with nobody. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna play with nobody. And like even though Embiid and Harden they look great together, but like I say, I'm not sold on Harden in the playoffs like at all. And even though last year he was injured or whatever, but it's like he did nothing last year in the playoffs, and he played every game I believe against
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee, and he did nothing. So I mean, injured or not, you still have some effect on the game if you're James Harden. So at the end of the day, I'm not. Especially if they go. I just feel like, see, I feel like Harden don't do good under pressure. So I feel like, say if it's a chance where they meet each other in either the second round or the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's Embiid and Harden versus Kyrie and KD. I don't think Harden gonna be able to live with that pressure to be able to beat them two after you just what you just did. Like after you left them one. I don't know, yo. I just don't think he a dog like that. Like I think he a great player and he very skillful, but I don't think he a dog like that. So I think that I think that I got the Nets. I mean, even though Milwaukee is still there, but the only reason I feel like Milwaukee won last year is because Kyrie wasn't there. So if Kyrie
Hmm.
and KD this year, it's Kyrie and KD over anybody else in the East. I'm sorry,
I feel
that's
that.
my opinion.
I feel that they were actually going to beat but James Harden did miss a game. He missed a game when they lost in Milwaukee. It was a close game. The last game Kyrie
But
played for real,
he wasn't a factor
but
though.
he
See,
wasn't a factor. Go ahead, Javon.
I just want to say one thing about his Ben Simmons. He ain't high on Ben Simmons. I understand a lot of people not though, you know. But can I ask you something, Blaze?
Uh huh.
Who was Russ with last year? The Wizards, right?
Washington.
Who y'all played in the playoffs when y'all made it in?
We played the Sixers.
Do you remember what Ben Simmons did to your boy and
I
y'all?
know. I I say he a great
Now,
defender.
now he was putting numbers up on y'all. He had a good series. Period. It wasn't just defense. He was just doing whatever he wanted. Now I think with Ben Simmons, it's his mindset. It's like a mental thing with him. He needs to be in the right situation. Like Joe said, he with the Nets, the perfect situation. So I think we're gonna really see Ben Simmons. I think we really are gonna really see him when he's even aggressive, dunking and stuff like that. Because KD and Kyrie, those type of guys that rub off on you and let you be you. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Because they just hoop. That's what they do. That's
Yeah.
what they say they want to do. I just want to hoop.
Yeah. See, my
So
opinion on Ben Simmons though, I don't think I'm not that big on him because I think his mentality is soft. So regardless, I don't think he's gonna be able to build that up, even with playing with the Nets. Like he did what he did with playing with the Sixers. Even the way he wanted out, that's cool. I'm not judging him for wanting to leave after they dogged him and all that. But at the end of the day, how he quit and wanted to take ownership for the way he played, you know what I'm saying, and tried to claim like he going through this, that, and the other. Like, play your game. You know what I'm saying? Because before everybody was talking about how bad you was playing, none of this wasn't a factor from what you were saying. So at the end of the day, I think his mentality is soft, and he's a great skill set, but at the end of the day, so what type of player? I don't know what type of player he's going to be because I don't think he has a dog mentality. Like I just think he's cupcake to be honest with you. Like just by the way he handled that whole Philly situation. Like if they call you out by the way you play, like even we talk about how Russ, you know what I'm saying, like he don't take ownership from the way he played. But he ain't gonna sit there and cry about it, and you know what I'm saying. Like he just gonna sit there act like so what, you know what I'm saying. But Ben Simmons, he's like gonna tuck his tail and act like you know what I'm saying. Like nah, you know what you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying. Like if you ain't shooting the ball, if you know you're playing this way, take ownership up to it, but don't like tuck your tail. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I don't respect. Like
I
so
can
Hmm.
I
dig
don't.
that.
I'm not that big on like.
So,
So I don't see how he could get that back. Like if he is who he
uh-huh.
is in the inside, regardless what your skill set say.
So look, I'm gonna address you, Blade. I'm gonna address mine in the comments too. Somebody said, "Why you gonna wait for the playoffs for the Sixers next matchup?" This is why I'll do it. First of all, Ben Simmons is in a different situation with Philly. Doc Rivers did take up for him, all that stuff, blah blah. But then he threw him under the bus towards the end of the series, and then we
Yeah,
saw Joel Embiid. So he didn't. He said when he got to the Nets, they embraced him. He playing with two dogs. Kyrie's a dog. People gotta stop sleeping on Kyrie. Kyrie, that type of dude that's gonna go to you like, come on, bro, come on, let's go. So and with KD, so Ben Simmons is not gonna have the pressure in Brooklyn like he had in Philly. So even if he passed that layup, I don't see the Nets bashing him like they did in Philly. You see what I'm saying? And then you know how Philly fans are, Blaze.
yeah,
Philly fans, like Philly
Yeah,
fans
you're an Eagle.
are
yeah.
crazy,
So
bro.
see,
You're an Eagles
I was
fan.
only saying that in reference.
No, 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 I'm
Yeah, no, I
addressing
know. See, that's
his
the only thing.
comment. Go ahead.
I wasn't. I know how Phillies. I wasn't addressing Vaughn. Like I still pick Nets to win. You feel me? But I'm just saying he was like, I'm not big on Ben Simmons. I was explaining to him why I'm not big on Ben Simmons. You know
Oh
what
no,
I'm saying?
I
Like,
said that for this comment. I said that for this comment. Cause they asked
oh
why
my
would
god,
you
okay.
wait to play him? Cause it's chess, man. It's like when you play spade, you don't want to show your hand, you know. So you want to wait into the playoffs. The Spurs are famous for doing that. You see the Spurs back in the day when they were actually good, they would play a marquee team on prime time. They would bench their starters. Remember that time they benched Tim
Dude hating
Duncan,
on Ben.
Ginobili,
He's soft.
and they got huh? Oh, yeah.
No, I was reading a comment. He
So
said I'm hating on Ben Simmons. He's soft.
okay, yeah,
Ben
yeah. I
Simmons
mean,
soft.
so and then Ben Simmons, that was the only series that happened. You know what I mean? So something that happened mentally, I would say. But when this situation in with the Nets, he has no pressure. He can real life be who he wants to be. He has no pressure. He can literally just defend, pass, and rebound. And then
Rebound.
if you want to leave and then they could play him as a forward. You know what I mean? As a point forward. So he can spend a lot of time in the high post like Draymond. You know what I mean? So now it's versus bringing the ball up a lot because you got Kyrie right there. So I'm excited to see that. And yeah, if I was done, I wouldn't even play him May 10th. I just won't, because that's what Philly want. Philly wants him to play May 10th. I'm not gonna get that to you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
wait till the
don't yeah,
playoffs
don't do it. Yeah.
and then play you. Yeah. So
March.
yes, let's get it. So. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.